Welcome back. This is Genesis with Sozo Education and Beauty Supply. And today, and over a few days, this is going to be all about different embeds. So I wanted to show you, like, this is my kind of old school, tried and true, if you will. I have my little containers labeled with the individual ones. So I just wanted to show you. This has been sitting for a couple of days, but I still really, really love this method of doing them because they do come out to be like so perfect, and it really doesn't take that long. This was my very first approach when I didn't have more money to be able to invest in everything, and you really just have to go in there and pack it in there. So I have a whole entire video though of how to do these ones. So I'm basically trying to see if I can get this perfect size, which to me is just like a really, really good half-inch by half-inch ish, maybe a little bit less than that in thickness wise. But I love the perfection of that whole situation. So go back, check out the other video I have on these if you would like to see how I make those. Now, my formula is exactly the same, no matter what the situation is. And I need to redo all these different colors. So we're going to do them all at once and really just try to knock this out as quick as possible. So I take all of my liquid ingredients and put them all in here. Same as what I did in the other video. The only reason why I put it into here is to make sure that everything is all the same. Or like, I don't forget which color is which color and whatever, since I'm doing so many at a time. I went through and master batched ish a bunch of the ratios. That could have been super bad, of just the baking soda and the cream of tartar. And this is what I'm going to be mixing this part in with first. And I did strategically, out of all the colors here, I chose the yellow 5 first, just because as I go through this, my hands are going to be picking up this color and stuff. I'm just kind of taking a little bit of this baking soda cream of tartar mixture and just trying to scrape out as much as humanly possible from this little container. So if I start off with the yellow, just because it's the lightest color, then I will be better off in the end. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in my sink, set this off to the side, and at first I am going to go through and hand mix this whole entire thing. And I don't ever go through and do my baking soda, pre-color my baking soda for anything. Not for my bath bombs, not for doing the embeds. But I do find that kind of mixing this up first with my hands, the warmth of your hands rubbing together really gets the brightness to come out from the color. And now, mind you, this makes no difference of what the actual color is going to be into the tub, but I want them to look really pretty as I'm putting them in there, as true to the color as possible, because that's going to help me when it comes to like matching everything together. All right, so I feel like that's pretty good. Now I'm going to grab my hand mixer. I try to do this as least often as humanly possible because this is like such a color nightmare mess. Like, I really don't know how Robin does all of the lakes and all of the stuff that she does, because I mean, I understand why she wears like a little white hazmat suit situation, because it is just god awful. It's like, I'm sure she spends all day trying to make all those things in as much bulk as possible so she never has to do it again. Okay. So I feel like that's good for right now. And then I'm going to add my citric acid to this. The only reason why I don't do this all at once, because you totally could, is just because I really, really want to make sure that everything else is just blended in there really well. And especially since like I use the glycerin in there. And I can't think of poly 80. So I want to make sure that I can work it in as much as possible and have as much working time as possible. So I'm going to set this aside. And if there were bigger chunks, I would get those off of this because I am not going to change my beaters out. And once again, I'm going to kind of rub all this together in here. And I am going to choose my first poison of which mold that I am going to start with. And I'm going to do one that I have historically not done really well with, because I think I've learned some things that might make it a little bit easier. So this is 48, 6, 7, yeah, 49, I guess, whatever, 7 times 7. Embed maker from Chunk of Dust. And yeah, this has to go down because then when you flip it, you can push it up that way. Okay, so I think my problem, and I would say I already kind of felt it, but you want to make sure that it's still like the same consistency of the bath bomb mix. So I think my problem with this before is that like I was really trying to work this all into the squares, like just the same as what, like how I do my other mold. And I don't think you need to do that because I was getting rectangular shapes from them, like, because literally I was packing it totally and fully in the mold. So I want to see if I can just do it like this. That way I'm getting that little bit of compression. I have my homemade bath bomb press over here off to the side. So I'm going to make sure I'm kind of like turning it to do all corners of this. And then set that aside. I'm going to flip that over, take the bottom plate off, and then push on the sides. I'm kind of rocking it a little bit. And those are definitely more square. So the only thing I would say with this one, it's got a lot of this little, little powdery stuff. And let's see how well. They're mostly compressed, but there's definitely lots of like little dust and stuff left behind. So there's that one. Let's try it one more time to see if I can get it to be a little bit less little guys left behind. I watched Robin from Bath Fizz and Foam do this earlier today with both the 100 count one and this one, and she didn't have that same problem. So I don't know if it's from me compressing it or, like how I was doing it, essentially, like my mix, I don't know. But I figured I would give it a go again. So here we go. I'm going to push this one on top. Maybe. She also doesn't use a thingy. So I'm like, maybe. I'm kind of rocking it back and forth. So maybe let's try it that way. Take the top off. I might not have as many little extra guys hanging out there on the edge. Let's see if these are any more compacted. Like, I don't think any of them are mushed at all. I really think that little bit extra is just, from the spaces around the squares. All right, so I did that one. Now let me do one of these other ones. This one is the Easy Embed Maker, and I don't know if I'm going to hold it like that or not. We'll see. Maybe I just want to hold it like this. I really, really like the embed bars that I make, in the sense that, you can have so many colors and it's just all into one thing. So you can just grab the stick out and go. So this is kind of that same idea, but just in an easier format. So these ones you would rub down more. I just like totally. Because my mix is lower, I'm gonna kind of do it in a different way, similar to how I was doing my other mold, because you really want it to get it like good and compressed in. Like, the more compact that this is, the stronger that these are going to be. And if I had have felt like I needed any extra binder in here, I definitely would have done that. But I think, the amount of water that I have from blooming the dyes in my little cups is plenty enough. Okay, so now with these ones, I'm just going to tap off like any of my excess on here. And then, I don't know what will. All right, just lift it up out of the tray. Flip it over. And then just tappy them. And they come out in like a little row. So still got some little guys extra hanging out there. But let's practice that one more time. And because I know I am not going to have enough to do all of them, let me grab that, just something to cover it up. And I'm going to try to make just these couple of sticks at the bottom. I really love when Nectaria had done that, because it really has just stuck with me this whole time for any of these situations where maybe I can get maybe 2 more embeds out of here. I don't know. Let's see how much I want to force this in here. But it really makes this process a lot easier for when you want to have a couple more left to totally get your mix going. Because I really don't like all the extra embed dust and stuff. So I try to keep it down to as minimum as possible. And obviously, any waste that you have in your stuff, I'm going to clear that out. You either have to figure out a way to be able to, turn it into a profit or give it away. So there's that guy. So let me set him aside. I'll keep this just in case I need that later. And I'm going to clear all of this off, and then we will go into my next color. So I'm going to use this same bowl. So that's why I said that I wanted to start off with that lighter color, right? So now I'm going to grab my next bag of my citric acid and the cream of tartar, and we're going to go into the next color. I really don't do master batching for my bath bombs on a regular basis. And the reason behind that is just because I don't have one specific set recipe. Let me think I have. Yeah, this is coral. So I'm going to do coral next. And also I'm going to stick that upside down on my tray because, now that belongs to that one. So I'm going to stir this up a little bit. I always do something a little bit different, for my lavender coconut milk ones, I use a different clay in them than just the kaolin clay. And I want to have the freedom to be able to change things like that as much as I can. And that is the only reason why I don't do all of that ahead of time. But I really think if you just have all your ingredients really handy, it really doesn't take up that much more time. It can help when it comes to things like if you don't have a good inventory management system and you're getting ready to make stuff and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't have enough cream of tartar. Or if it's, a recipe that you don't make as often, then maybe things like that can come about. So it can totally help for those situations. But I definitely have way more than enough stuff. So for now, until, I am mass making bath bombs and kind of have certain recipes picked out, then I will do that. I can definitely see doing it for things like I really want to start getting into making cupcakes and things of that nature, where you make the bottom bath bomb base first and then do the Wonder Bar up on top of that. And for that, I would totally master batch it because you just have to take the plain Wonder Bar out and add some alcohol to it, and it just brings it, right back up to wherever it naturally would be. Okay, I'm going to kind of try to break up and see what I mean by, like, as soon as your hands touch it, it just turns the way that it's supposed to. But you definitely want to make sure that the glycerin and the poly 80 are like as distributed as possible throughout the mix. Ugh. Okay. I'm really excited to do one of these ones. I'm not necessarily intending to just make like all solid one color with it, but I need to find out what is the proper amount of mixture to be able to go in it, so that way I can start doing some math to figure out how I can get more colors in there. So that'll be something also that's in here. I'm going to do use an embed bar maker, but just use it with one color. Maybe I'm just going to add like a couple of sprays. This is my 90% alcohol mixture. And it just feels like it needs just a little bit of something extra. Oh yes, this is the coral. I was almost thinking this might be the red 40, but okay. So for this one, I think I am going to use, let me try just for the sake of it. So this one is from Soap Fistication with her design. You don't have to worry about which side is up and which side is down for this plate part. I am going to have to make sure, I would think, that I'm not packing this in like crazy. I'm just going to kind of lightly pack it in, because I really am used to like the hybrid molds and stuff, and like having to super get that in there. So I got to get out of that habit, because I really feel like that's where I was going wrong. And so I just need to use this mold more. Okay, so I'm going to push that out of the way. Because with anything, if you can get into a pattern of using it, then, I don't know, because Robin didn't tap it, and normally you would do that. So I don't know. Let's see if that makes any difference with it. Take off the top. And then just kind of rock it back and forth. Okay, so one thing I would notice with this one, and it might be like that they're just, it's like just below that surface, but it didn't pop it up crazy over on top of it. But I think these are like pretty much So nervous. Okay. Huh. Not so bad there. Not so shabby. I have such a hard time with that. So these are definitely more like my ones that I make with that other thing. My little silicone mold. So let me do that one again too. Shape wise, I feel like they had a little bit less of the dust around the outsides. I think I'm going to try to see if I press the mixture in just a little bit more, but not crazy. See, and I think the hard thing about this too is that you can't really weigh it because, more could be in one thing than the other. So can't really weigh them. All right. Let me move that guy out of the way. All right. Let me do, because I did one with the press. So let me do this one with the press as well. Just to see if it makes any difference from one to the other. And I'm not going to tap this one. Set that off to the side. Okay, definitely. Gotta just work it. I'm so scared. Okay. This is as down as it can be. And, I guess that'd be better. Not bad. I'm kind of happy. I'm all right with that. Okay. So we are going to move on from that one. I wonder if my mix, well, this is also, I have not used this one a whole lot either. But my mix is kind of like any of the spaces that are around there, that my mix is stuck into there. Okay, much better. So I'm going to put that one aside. And then we are going to do... Okay, so we are doing this again. I decided that I had to go back and refilm it because after I did the first one, I'm like, I don't remember her struggling like that in the videos that she has done. And by she, I mean Nectaria with Sophistication. So I had to redo this when I was like, duh, this makes more sense. But I've watched her do it a million times and you don't think about the little details with everything. So it makes a really big difference, I think, in both the longevity, and how your little embeds come out. So with the bottom piece of this mold, I guess, as I go through and do this part to unmold them onto the tray, having to utilize that is going to be an easier transition than what I was doing. So still rocky, back and forth, but then, and flip it over. Occasionally I lose one here or there, so, I do it over the bowl or close. And then here's the other thing, to take this piece off, pop it from the front, and it'll get rid of it or pull it back out so much easier. So do it like this, not like I just did. Remember, a lot of this is me learning too, so be graceful. Another easy embed maker, but this one is the square one. I don't know if you could fit it. I guess you could fit it on the other side. So I would note that you need to have it, because like with any hybrid mold, that you would... it has a taper on it so it can come out easier. Now, I definitely think these are larger squares, it seems, than what the other ones are. So maybe at the end of this, we will do a comparison of size. That way, if you are looking for a specific size, we can go from there. I don't even think, I mean, I know, okay, so the reason why she had developed this was for people that have arthritis and stuff in their hands and have a harder time being able to like press down and all that other stuff with the other ones. I didn't think about the fact I could be using my scraper with this too. So there's that. So you could like, have little thumb hole to be packing it, but I don't even think you need the thumb hole. Okay, oh, well, no, I guess because I'm going to take that off. So now that they're in there, I'm going to take this and flip this one, particularly like shiny side up, and then just tap them all out. So definitely different size, not like completely different. And these are kind of cute, like because of the fact that they have to be tapered to be in there versus those ones are that straight up and down. And these are like complete cube. So I don't know, the easy ones, those might be kind of cute, or to me, prettier finished, I guess, than like what these are. If you wanted to sell them in mini bath bomb packages. So if that should be of something of interest, then absolutely. And then here we're going to go kind of like back and forth a little bit with this to get all of this excess mix out of here. I'm just going to kind of try to press it as evenly as possible. Yeah, I definitely think you don't even need a handle part. Like, this is just kind of like, a 3D printed version of my other thing. Like, wouldn't this be crazy? So I guess I don't know if you could print that. It might be too big. Like, can we make an easy embed maker that is literally like the size of whatever a 3D printer plate would be, and do it just like this? Set it inside of a square container or just on your big silver tray, whatever, and I would pack it just like I do my other mix. Now that would be crazy, because it would be no different than making the 100 of them at a time with the other. So I don't know what those capabilities would be, but I find that would be even more efficient, because I hate making these things. I love making them, but I hate making them. Okay, so this is just going to be extra. Maybe I'll try to make a couple of smaller ones with that as well. Okay. Like, that's so incredibly easy, you guys. All right. And definitely did not require, like much manpower effort at all. I'm going to try to cover this up and just do, let's say the last 6 of them. I don't know quite how that's going to go, but okay. And it's just like really just being super nitpicky right here. Okay. Let's try. You know, I just thought of too, like, with all of your excess bath bomb mixture, if you kept this super handy, you could take it and put it into these instead of just making bath bomb dust with it. Now mine would end up being a mixture of like a whole bunch of different fragrances, but at the same time, yeah, I feel like that could be a thing. It just looks prettier that way instead of like, I'll show you guys. I was making some the other day. So this is a combination of several florals. And then I just take this and I would use this for myself or, give it away to my clients and stuff, put it in a baggie for them. So putting it in there, it would, give it a little bit of nicer presentation. And then you could keep them categorized. I don't know. I hate waste. Okay. So I am going to fast forward through this next part. Let me put my coral down. My coral basket, whatever thing down here. And then I'm going to mix up the next color, whatever. Since you've already seen that part, it doesn't matter. And then we are going to use the embed maker thing, the embed bar maker. Okay, so for this one, I am basically just going to be testing out like this, the amount of ounces. So I like this one in the sense that it is smaller than what the other one that I have is. So I'm hoping that it'll be more in my speed since I don't need millions of embeds. I'm not selling them or anything like that. So this particular mixture, the total weight, oh, I don't have that one. Oh, no, it's not 155. I guess it would be 310 grams would be the total weight of what this mixture would be. Let me see if I can just start putting in here. So this one has guides on the bottom. And these guides are larger than the guides on the top. However, I'm not going to be using any of that. So it's not going to matter. Well, kind of. I'm going to be doing like my own in between like type of situation. Oh my gosh. Like if this is a perfect thing for this, this is going to be pretty amazeballs. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Like we cannot get more perfect than that. Like I really, this, let me not speak too soon because I'm like, I have a hole in my glove. So let me not speak up too soon with that. I'm going to put this on my press just because I can. Looks like it's pretty even. Oh, I can't. I don't have enough room on there. So let's just hope. And then I'm going to think about this because this is my first time using all of these. Just, well, I've tried using the square, like the ones, the big 79 ones before, but for all intents and purposes, this is my first time using these. So, let's get that out of here. And then maybe so there's, the impressions on both sides of this. I don't want to knock this over. So you can determine whether you want these or the other ones. And I'm going to try to make this a little bit easier. That came off like super amazeballs. There's little pieces that kind of fell off. But I think I want to use it down this way. And let's just see. There is a little bit of room in here. And maybe I think I'm going to cut on these lines for this part. Oh my God, you guys. I'm trying not to shift my knife as you go down. If any of you have made these before, you know that you don't really get like a straight cut going down. Like you kind of have to be careful with that. And now, what would I do from it with here? Maybe something like that. And then drop them down. See, I feel like maybe this could be a little bit wetter. And this is also why like doing the embed bars is a little bit tricky. I do really, really like them. When you get them all different colors and everything, it makes them like really amazing. But I'm going to try to so here's where the one split is and where the other. So I'm actually going to try to make these in even smaller pieces. So basically this is seeming like it's going to be kind of like what the other, I keep on wanting to say doohickeys, but that's not, the oval embeds that I had made. But I really think that these are going to be a perfect size when it's all compressed into here. Let me see if I have, for example, if I wanted to use it in one of these, I I normally stick them up inside of there. So it would be like that. But I could close the top part of the mold onto it, and that would be absolutely perfect. So there would be that one. I'm going to put all this mix back in the bowl though. Because if I was going to do embed bars, I would want to make them be of all of the different colors. So hopefully all is not lost with the amount of time that I actually have to work with this. And I am going to continue basically playing around with all of the different embed makers and just try to get better at them and see which ones I really do prefer, you know. Let me, oh yeah, because I wanted to do this one too. This way, I guess, which was what I was about to do. So I'm going to take this down here. And with the way that I pack my other silicone molds, I want to see if I can do it like this. And this is where I said, like, I don't even know if you would need a bottom on here necessarily, because I should be able to pick this up and it just be perfect. Like, oh, well, aside from the fact that, so maybe I could put the whole entire thing in there, but I'm going to keep these. Where's my spoon? I have, oh, there it is over there. If we had a gigantic, like as big of a possible square dealio, so just in the interest of keeping all of these flat, I'm going to put in that. But if you had a gigantic one of these and you were just working from one of your silver trays, then I think this would be super easy to make a bunch of them even quicker, and I feel like even better on my hands because you're not really having to hold it at all. And you don't have to worry about the size of your hands. They just come out so easy. Drop, 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 drop. I have to play with that some more. It is not like I need to compress them a little bit more, I think. Let me get this. This is drying out a little bit. Because with the embeds, like you really don't have much time to work with them. Work with this mixture. So I don't know if it would be any more time. I guess by doing it the other way, you could make more of them at once for sure, even though you would be like really going over the mixer not a few times, because you definitely have to pack them in there to get them to be nice and solid. But I'm going to keep doing this. And if you guys have any questions or have thought, of any other ways that I could do this, I don't want to flip it over completely, but it's definitely cleaner on the back part of it when you are using that. So because I like the crispness for right now, I'm going to keep doing it this way. And if you guys have anything that you want me to test out or something that you want to add with your experiences with this, and by all means, if you have another tool that you like to use, please share, because I am all about not only supporting small businesses, but also making things easier and faster so that I can get to the actual part that I really like, which would be making the bath bombs themselves. So have a great rest of your day, or go get some sleep because it's midnight and you are up letting YouTube watch you fall asleep. And hopefully you have learned something today. Bye.